Now this video is essentially going to be a case study on how I made this transformation that you see here from August of 2023 to March of 2026. Now this is right around 2.5 years where you can see I was very out of shape. I didn't really take good care of myself. I wasn't taking the gym too seriously, and I could not stay consistent for the life of me, all the way up to today where it is evident that I am consistently dialed in with my nutrition, my training, my recovery, my lifestyle, all of the things that allow me to have this physique, which, clearly shows through today. Now, the real problem when most men try to get into shape is they will struggle because what they're doing simply is not sustainable. And oftentimes they can stay consistent for a week, maybe even a few, but eventually, no matter what, they always seem to fall off time and time again. And that's the exact position that I used to be in right here. Now, a lot of people will look at this and think that it's just because they lack discipline. They need to be more strict or to try harder on themselves. But the truth is, they were never given something that they can actually sustain, especially long term, for more than, even a few months max. Now, if you've ever felt like you are doing everything right, but still not getting the results that you want, or like you just cannot stay consistent with your schedule or your routine, you're absolutely not alone. Again, this is the exact position that I was in for the longest time, and many other people are too right now. So in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what actually drives results and how I transformed my physique without doing anything extreme and while prioritizing my health and my lifestyle the entire time. Now, I made this whole transformation without tracking calories, macros, without following some insane routines or waking up at 5 a.m. I stuck to the basics. I focused on the things that really do make a difference, and that is how I transformed my physique. Now, the thing is, I didn't figure this out overnight either. This transformation alone was 2.5 years, but before that, it took me even more years to understand what actually matters, and basically more importantly so, what doesn't matter. So instead of you wasting years in the gym trying to figure it out for yourself, I'm going to break it all down for you in this video so you can skip that phase and get results as quickly as possible. But first, let's make sure that this is actually for you and something that you can stick to. Now, this is for you if you've ever tried to get in shape before. You kind of know roughly what to do, but you just don't always seem to follow through with it and do it. This is also for you if you can be consistent, but just not for a long period of time. And this is finally for you if you can start strong, you're locked in for a week or two, but then something slips and slowly everything has fallen off again and you're right back where you started. Now, if this sounds anything like you, even in the least bit, I have some very, very good news. And that is that the reason this happens is not because you're lazy or because you lack discipline or a drive to change, but more so because your approach just simply was not built to last in the first place. And more importantly so, you actually already have the hard part down. You already have that drive to change, to make a difference in your life. And most people are realistically missing this. They don't want to change. They don't want something better for themselves. And because you already have this difficult part down, you do not need more information or a complicated plan. You just need something that you can truly stick to and follow long term. So if you're looking for something extreme or something that you can only follow for a few weeks or for a quick 90-day challenge or transformation, then this unfortunately is not for you. But if you do want something simple, something structured, and something that you can actually maintain long term, then you are absolutely in the right place. Because the biggest problem with people like you is not effort. Again, you have that drive to change, but more so what you're putting that effort into, and this is exactly what my issue was for the longest time. Now, the average experience usually looks something like this. You decide that you're going to get in shape, you want to clean up your diet, you start training, you're locked in, and things are going pretty well. For a little while, it's working, you're feeling better, you're, somewhat consistent, and you're starting to see progress. But then at some point, life hits you. You get busy, you miss a workout, your diet slips a little, nothing major, just, little things here and there. But after a little bit of time, those small things really start adding up. You miss another workout and then another one. You start making more exceptions, and before you realize it, you're not really following anything anymore. And that schedule and that routine that you worked so hard to push yourself into and to follow, and you're finally starting to see some results, it's completely gone. Now, at some point, you'll tell yourself, you know what, I need to get back on track. I'm going to get back to it next Monday, and you restart, you go all in again, and the whole cycle just simply repeats. And every single time that happens, this is very, very important because it takes a hit on you personally, and you start trusting yourself a little bit less. You believe less and less that you're actually capable of transforming and making a change in your life. And likely, if you were anything like me, you hit a point where you were just frustrated. You know what to do, but your actions do not reflect it. And it's because, it feels like you're putting in all of this effort. You're being disciplined, you're strict with yourself, you're trying to stay on track with a diet, but you're just not getting the results to match it, and you just cannot stick to it. And this is usually the point where so many people think that the answer is just try harder, be more disciplined, be more strict with yourself, stay motivated, but that is not the real problem, and this is actually something that really leads people far off track, and I only know this solely because I went through it myself. Now, my experience looked something like this. So back in August of 2021 was when I pretty much first started off doing the exact same thing. I was following YouTube workouts in my bedroom, doing calisthenics, push-ups, sit-ups, things like this, just trying to improve and become a little bit stronger, but I didn't really know what I was doing. And when I took this picture, I took it in my bathroom, and it was the last thing that I ever wanted to do. I was terrified of taking this photo, but I knew that once I got a little bit later on down the line, I would want something to look back on, so I forced myself to take it, and I kept it in the back of my camera roll for a very, very long time. Now, fast forward to August of 2023, I started to see a little bit of progress. As you can tell, there's some more definition here, a little bit more size, but nothing crazy. And I was trying to take things more seriously. I was a little bit more consistent, but still not 100% on track. I was spending a lot of time in the gym. I started to see some progress, but I also did not fully understand what actually mattered. And I was wasting a lot of time, effort, and energy on things that were, not necessarily pushing me forward. And because of this, I couldn't fully stay as consistent as I knew I should have. And, fast forward to today, everything's completely changed. And this is when things finally started to click. I stopped trying to do fitness the complicated way and just adding 100 different things, trying to track my calories, macros, do all of this. And yet I look better doing less than when I was doing so much more. How does that work? Now, most importantly, it's because I started focusing on what actually drives results, and I built something that I could truly stick to long term, that I don't have to think about. It doesn't matter how busy my life gets, how much I have going on, I can absolutely maintain this physique, maintain this shape, and even more so, keep on pushing forward and growing, getting better and better. Now, once I understood that, everything became a lot simpler. Everything became more repeatable, and this is when I really had a big realization, which was the reason I wasn't getting results was because it had nothing to do with the fact that I wasn't putting in effort. I was genuinely trying, but just because I was putting that effort into so many of the wrong things. So if you think of your effort like a ball, it was spread out in terms of 100 different things that I was trying to do. But instead, what I figured out was that if I just focused it on a few core things that actually drove results, and I did these things consistently over a long period of time, I could actually start to see some progress, because all of this ball of effort, it's the same amount, right? It's focused, okay? It's concentrated and is dialed in. So thankfully, I don't need extremes or perfection, and you do not need the perfect plan, but more so you just need something that you can actually follow day after day after day. Now, here's where most people do go completely wrong, and this is what I really struggled with for the longest time, which was they just try to do way too much. They try to make things way more complicated than they need to be, and this is all kind of the fault of the fitness industry, essentially. But eventually, because of this, they fall off. So what I started to do instead was I stopped trying to do everything at once, and I started focusing on the few things that really do move the needle forward and build progress and get results. Now, that's what actually led me to build this, 365. Now, 365 is built around one main idea, and that is sustainability, because it shouldn't be difficult to look, feel, and perform at your best year-round. We're human beings. We're not meant to perform at our worst and to struggle and to go through this difficult life where you just cannot seem to get in shape no matter what. You should be in shape year-round, all right? Now, most approaches are built around extremes, all or nothing. They're highly restrictive, they're short-term, they're little challenges, but 365 is built to sustain for literally the rest of your life, not the next 30 days, not the next 90 days. It's not a challenge, it's not something short, the rest of your life, okay? Now, 365 is focused on building something you can stick to while still getting real results. And to do that, everything needs to be simple, structured, and repeatable. So how do you actually go about doing this? Because, like I said before, it comes down to a few core areas that really do work together. The first one being training. Now, for each of these, I have 3 core rules, and for training, it's simplicity, intensity, and consistency. Now, a lot of people like to go to the gym, but they just go through the motions, and they lack intensity. And the thing is, if you want your body to grow, it has to be forced to adapt, because it's only going to grow to what you demand from it. So if you're not actually demanding a lot from your body, why would it grow when it can just rest, it can relax, it can stay in the same shape that it used to be and keep on pushing throughout life? But again, if you're really pushing yourself, and again, intensity is done by pushing to failure, not by adding 100 different exercise variations, you are forcing your body to grow. You're telling it we need to be stronger in order to keep on moving, and of course, you're going to see results as a result of that. Now, how do you do these 3 things? So, simplicity, pick a few key lifts. Any sort of bicep curl is going to build your bicep. Squats are going to build your legs. bench is going to build your chest. It's as simple as that. You don't need crazy exercises that you see on social media. Now, intensity, push close to, past, or to failure. Now, this is entirely dependent on your experience level. The closer you are to a beginner, you can have a little bit, you can leave a few reps in reserve, and the more advanced you get, the more time and experience that you have in the gym, the better you are at warming up, and the more used to it your body is, then the more intensity you want to push on yourself by hitting failure, where, you can't do any more reps with good form, or pushing past with drop sets and partials. Now, consistency. Train 3 to 5 times a week. It's as simple as that. Whatever fits your schedule, whatever your goals are, base it around there. Now, when it comes to nutrition, this is one of the most important ones by far. So protein, quality, and the 90-10 rule. Now, so many people, including myself in the past, completely overcomplicate diets. They jump between different plans, cutting things out, adding things back in, tracking, trying to have everything dialed in. And nothing sticks because what they're doing is not sustainable. I don't know about you, but I personally just cannot seem to make tracking calories or macros part of my lifestyle. And when I tried to, I didn't get good results. But now that I don't, I look like this, okay? Now, protein. Build every single meal around some source of protein, all right? Simple as that. Steak, chicken, eggs, something like that. Now, quality. Prioritize single ingredient whole foods. You should not be eating garbage that you cannot pronounce. If your great-great-grandmother would not recognize it, you probably shouldn't eat it. Simple. Now, the 90-10 rule allows you to be flexible. So 90% of the time, you're dialed in, you're eating clean, you're sticking to your consistent meals. 10% of the time, you're flexible. You can go out, you can enjoy your social life, you can go to events, you can do whatever it is that you need to do. But again, do not abuse that flexibility, because if you do, it removes the point of it. So 90-10 is the rule that I say you should aim for. Now, if you want to take a quick screenshot, I have some foods here of what you should be focused on and what you should actually be avoiding. So do that if you need to. Now, when it comes to pillar 3, this is recovery. So sleep, balance, and adaptation. So a lot of people think that growth happens in the gym, but realistically, the gym is where you're actually breaking down your muscle, okay? Growth happens in recovery. So if you're overly fatigued, you're not sleeping well, your body is not able to recover. It's not able to develop that muscle and grow stronger for next time. So when it comes to sleep, 7 to 9 hours a night in a cool, dark room, absolutely going to change your life. If you want to supplement, you can do magnesium, and blackout curtains as well absolutely helps out a lot. Now, blue light blockers, again, another common one. I talk about these all the time. Changed my life. Get yourself a pair. Now, balance. Don't constantly run yourself into the ground, all right? You sometimes do need some rest. You need days off the gym, even if you're really, really enjoying it and feeling like you're making progress, because, again, your body needs time to recover and to rest. Now, adaptation, again, results are going to take time, all right? It's going to take you a few months before you start to see noticeable changes in your physique, and the further you get into your journey, the slower those changes are going to happen. So you need to realize that it's going to take time, and you need to be patient with that. Now, pillar 4 is lifestyle. So environment, structure, and movement. So your results are largely influenced by how you live outside of the gym. Again, yes, you break down your muscle in the gym, but you have to repair it and rebuild it and have a good functioning body for it to be able to do all of these things to its optimal efficiency. And it's very, very difficult to make progress if your environment and lifestyle completely work against you. Now, environment. You should be trying to make the easy choices the right choices. Structure, you want to follow a routine so that way that you can repeat it, you can stick to it, and guarantee you are consistent in making results. And when it comes to movement, it's very, very simple. Just stay active daily. You don't have to spend hours and hours a day doing like cardio on the treadmill in the gym. Go play a sport, go for a walk, go for a hike or a run, go swimming. Hit around 8,000 to 10,000 steps a day and just stay active. It's as simple as that. Don't overthink it. Now, even then, most people will still fail after seeing this because they'll see it and think they just need to apply it, and they're not wrong, okay? This absolutely does work. If you follow these things, you're going to see results. But the problem is not knowing what to do, okay? It's very, very rarely, if ever, an information problem because there's information everywhere, and more so, honestly, too much information. But what really matters is being able to actually follow it consistently. Because knowing what to do is not the same thing as doing it, and doing it once isn't the same thing as sustaining it long term for the rest of your life, right? So that is where the real gap lays. It's not effort, it's not discipline, it's definitely not information, and that is what everything that I showed you is already built around. So the real gap is having something that you can actually follow. Then the question naturally becomes, how do you actually do that? How do you stay consistent with these things? Now, for me, it came down to 3 simple spots. So, structure, certainty, and accountability. Now, the first one, you need a clear plan. Something structured that tells you exactly what you need to be doing every single day. Do you hit the gym here? What are you training? Is it a rest day? What should you do instead? What are you going to eat? You need something that you can stay consistent with and follow every single day. Now, certainty. You want to know that what you're doing isn't a waste of time, energy, and attention. So you should have absolute certainty that what you're doing is producing results. Now, the third one being accountability. And this is just, you need something that helps you stay consistent. Whether it's another person, it's me, it's a friend, it's a family member, whatever it is, because even the best plan doesn't work if you don't stick to it. You need to stay consistent above everything else. Now, that's actually exactly what I've built 365 to do. So instead of trying to figure everything out yourself, spending years doing this with trial and error, you are skipping straight to what is truly going to drive results. You have a plan that is built specifically for you based on your goals, your schedule, and your starting point. Now, what does this actually look like? So when it comes to training, you will have a personalized plan built for you. It will tell you exactly what to train, when you need days off, how to actually progress, and make sure that you are moving forward with every single workout that you do. Now, again, it's built based on your goals, your schedule, and your starting point. It is something that you can personally stick to. Whether you can get into the gym twice a week or 10 times a week, whatever it looks like for you, you will be able to stick to it and see results. Now, nutrition. You won't have to overthink your diet ever again. So you will have a very, very clear structure that tells you what to focus on, what to limit, when to eat, when to fast, to do all of these things. It is all laid out simply for you. So all that you have to do is take action and execute. That's it. Now, you will learn how to keep it simple so you can stay consistent without forcing it. And because of this, you will see very, very good results and make the progress that you want to see, whether you're trying to gain weight, lose weight, get stronger, whatever it is, your nutrition is dialed in there. Now, recovery. So again, most people think that you build muscle in the gym, and because of this, recovery is massively overlooked. So you will know exactly how to recover properly, so that way you're not constantly burned out, you're not fatigued, and this guarantees that your body can actually grow based off those workouts and the things that you're putting it to, and you will feel better day after day after day, rather than more tired or fatigued or like you just cannot keep up. Now, lifestyle. So whether it's nutrition, training, recovery, or something else, your environment should work for you, okay? Not against you. Now, you will build your day around a very, very simple structure, so that way staying consistent and reaching your goals becomes as easy as it can possibly be. And my favorite quote here is to make it so hard to lose that it is easy to win. So that's essentially what lifestyle is entirely built around. Now, support, all right? You are not in this alone. If you have something that feels off, if you have questions, if you start slipping or falling off track, you get guidance so that you don't fall back into the same cycle. Now, this looks like, one-on-one calls with me. You get weekly group calls, 24/7 chat support, whenever you need it with me personally. You get an entire thing here as well, right? You have every single thing laid out to you, full access to all of it, any hours of the day, so you understand exactly what you're doing, and more importantly so, why it works. That way you know if you are getting the most of it or not. And again, questions always open. Now, everything is connected, okay? You're not piecing things together anymore. You're following a system that is built to actually work in real life, and not just for someone else's life, but for your life, built around your lifestyle, your schedule, your goals, what you want to do, all of that good stuff. Now, when you have all of this in place, everything starts to feel a lot different, because you're not constantly falling off and restarting anymore. You just know what to do and you get it done. You execute, you take action, and it's as simple as that, because your system finally fits into your life, because it's your system. It's built around the basics, the things that truly drive results, and it cuts out all of the rest of the noise. Now, once this happens, your body finally starts to change. You'll become leaner, stronger, bigger, more confident, and it actually lasts long term, because again, you're going to be feeling so much better day after day after day. It's difficult not to stay consistent with it when you build it properly around your life, your schedule, your goals, all the things that I've went over. Now, you'll have more energy, better focus, everything becomes effortlessly structured, and you're not stuck in extremes or constantly on and off anymore. You just stay in shape year round, because again, you're a human. It's not supposed to be difficult to stay healthy, to stay in good shape, to take good care of your body, to stay mobile into, your later ages. And yes, it's not necessarily perfect. You're still going to have off days, but you're not going to fall all the way off anymore. You stay in control because you have something that you can rely on. Now, right now, you have reached a point where you can keep on doing what you've been doing in the past, trying new plans or starting over and over, hoping something that finally sticks for you. Or you can actually fix the problem and follow something that is built to work in real life for your life. Now, that decision is, of course, yours. right? But if you are at the point where you're done guessing, you've had enough of it, and you truly do want to do this properly, and you're ready to take it seriously, not just for a few weeks or for another 30, 60-day challenge, but long term, then you can book a call with me with the link below, or DM me on Instagram. It's also down in the description, and we will be talking very, very soon. Now, on this call, we will see if it is a good fit, because this only works if you're actually willing to follow it, to stick to it, and to execute consistently and genuinely put in that work. Now, if you've made it this far in the video, I already know that you have that drive to change, which again is the difficult part, so that's great on you. Now, all that you need finally here is just guidance, and I will personally, myself alone, guide you every single step of the way. But the thing is, again, I cannot train for you, I can't eat for you, and I cannot take action for you. But most importantly, you already know what's been holding you back. Now it's on you to do something about it. Hopefully I'll see you inside, and we'll be talking very, very soon. Peace.